house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Alexander Hewitt and S. Dean. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Woo! So, when we left off yesterday, this has been a marathon. When we left off yesterday, Kiefer and Tina up on the block. Kiefer was the target, but then he started campaigning. You know, he was over the sad sack thing, and he started campaigning, and he convinced the trio to keep him. He was basically saying, I want to go to the Final Four with you guys, and then we battle it out, just like we've talked about all season. He told Jed he wants to go to the Final 3 with him and Beth, Final 2 with Jed, because he's been going with his whole to be the best, you gotta beat the best thing. And, first of all, but second of all, it seems like he's actually serious about it, because he's said to the cameras when he was alone, like, Sunsetters forever, like, I want to go to the end with Jed, and I want to beat him. So it seems like he is being honest about all of that. He even swore on his kids that he would go after Tara and Brayden. I was going to say Taraden? I don't know. Tara and Brayden if he won the next HOH. So if you guys want to hear more details on Kiefer's campaigning, check out yesterday's spoiler if you haven't already seen it. But Kiefer even told Tara that he would have to put her up with Brayden if he won HOH. That's a lot. So, Beth also spilled to Tina that she's going, and we saw Tina tried to campaign a little bit after she found out about that. Tina is not a campaigner, though. It makes me sad, because I had such high hopes for her before the season started, and even at the beginning of the season. And then once she started working with Tara, it was like Tina didn't do anything anymore. But yeah, Tina was saying to Beth, Kiefer is not going to take you to the end. He's going to take the guys. But Beth is like, no. He's saying he's going to take the best to the end. So she's pretty confident that he will take her because she's the best. And Tina was like, no. No effing way. And there's no way that Kiefer's going to take Beth to the end. Are you kidding me? He's obsessed with Jed. But now the question is, will this vote flip stick? Or will it flip back? We'll see. So Tara had a game chat with Brayden in the HOH room. And Tara's like, so have you heard the news? She's talking about Tina being the one to leave now. And Brayden's like, yeah, I did hear about it briefly. So Tara tells him all about Kiefer's pitch. He swore on his kids that he would target me and you. Yikes. So that means that it's us two versus the four of them. They agree they're probably going to be going up in pretty much every scenario next week, except for maybe, except if one of them wins HOH. Tara promises that Brayden would not go up on the block if she wins HOH. And she says she's really annoyed that some people are acting like Jed and Kiefer are the only ones that can win this whole thing. It's definitely getting on Tara's nerves that people are really only talking about Jed or Kiefer winning. It's annoying her. So, yeah, Brayden thinks that if either of them win HOH, they should put Jed and Beth up on the block because he feels like Ty is the least likely out of the trio to use the power veto. And this is something that he talked about with Kiefer the other night, and he seems to still be following that line of thinking. All right, so then Tina was chatting with Ty and Jed in the Expedia Junior room, and this is the we're getting rid of you conversation. So Ty says it's a numbers game at this point because Tina and Tara have an unbreakable bond. Not the unbreakable bond. Oh my god. If it's not the unbreakable bond, it's the untouchables. No. So Tina says, I think you guys are making a huge mistake keeping Kiefer. Kiefer making it through this back door, not a back door, will solidify him winning this whole entire thing. You know, it's going to be huge on his resume if he makes it to the final two. But Ty says, yeah, but he's going to have to beat all of us to do that, to make it to the final two. And Ty says, I'm betting on myself to beat Kiefer in the competitions. He says, right now, I'm more concerned with breaking up the duo, you and Tara. And Jed says, yeah, as you know, like, we've been working with Kiefer since day one, and he's made a lot of moves on our behalf to keep us all safe. So Tina spills, like, yeah, everybody knows about that now, because Kiefer told Brayden and Tara about the Sunsetters, but he didn't mention that Tina was included in that. So Jed's like, oh, really? Well, that's fine. Is it? So Tina also says that Kiefer's talked about plans to get the trio out. So Tina is, like, trying to campaign against Kiefer without giving any details, which is just not gonna work at this point. You gotta spill some tea, but she's not willing to do it because she's friends with Kiefer. So Ty says turning on Kiefer the first chance they get just doesn't sit well with him, and because Kiefer has done so much for them already, he's fine with Kiefer potentially taking him out later in the game. Okay. So Jed says Tina, Tara, and Kiefer are a trio. Gotta split them up this week. That's why he didn't put up Brayden, because he wanted to guarantee that one of those three would be going. So Tina says, all right, well, it is what it is. You know, it seems like you guys have your mind made up at this point, but be careful with Kiefer, because again, he's got some plans in place. So Tina says there's no ill will whatsoever. They all hug. Oh my God, Tina, that's all you got! So then after, Jed and Ty chat alone, and they're saying they feel like they're making the right move here, taking out Tina. She didn't give them any helpful information during that campaign pitch. It was nothing. It was all, like, surface level. So they're like, so what? If Kiefer has plans, we have plans too. And Tina hasn't shown us loyalty once throughout this game. No, we're done. So then Kiefer was chatting with Brayden in the bathroom, and Kiefer says, oh, I can't even believe that I'm staying this week. Like, how is this possible? Right? This was a crazy roller coaster of a week. But Kiefer's like, I hope all that game information that I spilled to you the other night will stay confidential, you know, about, like, the Sunsetters. And when Kiefer talked Brayden through, like, all the different moves throughout the season. Yeah. But I think Brayden has been really smart about not giving out that information, because now maybe he can get something going with Kiefer in the future. We'll see. But Kiefer says he promised the trio that he would not go for them if he stays. He says, that was my only play. He's basically telling Brayden, like, I would have to put up you and Tara. Yikes. But Brady's like, of course. Like, I get that. Sure. So Kiefer says, I hope you win the next HOH. And if you do, you gotta put up me and Tara. What? Oh my God, he's trying to keep Brayden from putting up the trio right now? Like, what is this? It's so incredibly lame. I don't know if he's just doing this because he's afraid that this information would get back to the trio, and he doesn't want to be caught saying, like, put up the trio, or what. Like, maybe this was some sort of a test for Brayden. I don't know, but it's incredibly lame. Kiefer did tell the trio ahead of time, too, that he was going to tell Brayden to put him up on the block, and I guess he's thinking, like, oh, if that happens, I'll win the power veto, and Tara will go. But, like, what is going on here? So, anyway, Tara and Tina check in the Destiny bedroom. Tina was packing at the time, and Tara's like, oh, how'd your chat go with Jed and Ty? And Tina's like, it's done. I'm going. They said that Kiefer's a number for them. Kiefer's not targeting them, and they don't see that on my end. Yeah. Also, they're afraid that if you, Tara, win HOH, you would put two of them up, because you would never put me up, so it would be two of them going up on the block. Yeah. But Tina's encouraging Tara to have more game conversations with Brayden moving forward, because they could get something going there, but she tells her, be careful with Kiefer. And Tara's like, yeah, I think I might be done with Kiefer. I have shown him nothing but kindness, love, and loyalty, and he's basically sworn on his kids to people that treated him like trash. Like, he swore on his kids that he would take me out, and promised this to people that treated him like trash. So, guess who joins them a few minutes later? It's Kiefer! Damn, this is awkward. So Kiefer's like, oh, this is such a shitty game. Tina's like, yeah, well, it is what it is. And Tara's like, I honestly don't know what to say. You have to do what you have to do, but I hear you've sworn on your children that you're basically coming for me. And Kiefer's like, I'm not coming for you. Come on! And Tara's like, well, did you swear on your children? And Kiefer's like, yes. And Tara's like, and the promise was to keep the 3 safe? And Kiefer says, yup. So Tara's like, well, that leaves me and Brayden. Yeah, that's some good BB math right there. But Kiefer says, I had to do what I had to do to stay in this game. And Tara's like, I'd never treat you the way that they treated you. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So then Tara leaves. She's upset. And Kiefer is further explaining to Tina, this was his only play. Tina says no hard feelings. And Kiefer's like, I can still win this. I can win. So Tina basically tells him, you're going to have to win out to make it to the end. Because this trio is not going to take you to the final 2, which I think is true. I don't see any of them taking him to the final 2. But if he does manage to get there on his own, I think he beats anybody left. I think for sure. So yeah, he knows he's going to have to win out. But a little later, Tina tells Kiefer and Tara, you guys need to talk through your crap so I can enjoy the rest of the night. So Kiefer is telling Tara again, I had to make a deal or I'd be going home this week. And Tara's like, it's fine. But now you just put me in a position where I'm going to have to go after you. She says, you didn't have to swear that deeply. You could have just lied to them. And Kiefer says, there was no other choice. And he's telling Tara, I don't think you go next week, no matter who wins HOH. That's a lie. So then Tara is talking about how crappily the trio treats Kiefer. She's saying they're not going to keep their promise to you. And Kiefer keeps trying to defend why he is still working with them. And he's saying, like, if I can get to the Final 4, I can win this game. Which is not necessarily true, because that final HOH competition, the 3-parter, there's usually some sort of, like, physical element involved, or some sort of endurance element, and I just don't see Kiefer beating the trio on that. But anyway, Tara is disappointed that Kiefer never believed in her. She's like, well, why wouldn't you partner up with me and then we could go to the end together? Kiefer's like, no, because we'd have to win out like every single competition to make that happen. And Tara's like, well, we could pull Brayden in too. But also, like, he's saying that they'd have to win out every competition, but isn't that basically what he's saying he has to do anyway? So Kiefer says, yeah, I guess it'd be pretty good for me if you or Brayden won HOH. I think I would be okay. Tara's basically telling him, like, no, you're putting me and Brayden in a situation here where we're going to have to go after you. But Kiefer says, all I got to do is win this next HOH, then the week after that win the POV, and then win the next 2 HOHs after that. Oh, is that all? Cool. So Tara's like, yeah, well, 6 other people feel the same way that you do. Like, everybody's going to be going for all these competitions. Also, if the trio makes it to the end, their arguments to the jury are going to be better than yours. And she explains, yeah, you took out Kyle and Ro, but neither of those guys were actually coming after you. You made moves to keep the trio safe. She makes a good point there. Like, the trio could definitely make that argument. They can just say, yeah, we manipulated every single move that Kiefer made to keep us safe. That's a strong argument. But Kiefer says, well, no, I would have jury votes from you, Spicy V, Ro, Tina. That's 4. That's enough to win. And he says he would probably have Brayden as well. And Tara's like, well, you can't say what people are thinking. Like, you don't know that. You don't know that you would have all those votes. And Kiefer's like, someday it'll all make sense. And whenever anybody says that to Tina and Tara, they get pissed. So Tara's like, no, it does all make sense. I'm not an idiot. I know that you've been lying to me throughout this game. Stop saying that you're going to win because it's pissing me off. And you don't know if you'd have my vote in the jury. And then she walks away. Oh, snap! Oh, my God. So then Tara vents to Tina about this conversation, and she is pissed. Tara says she wants to be the one to send Kiefer home. So are you telling me that Tara is going to use her HOH to take out Kiefer and not to split up the trio. She did end up changing her mind on that later. But in the moment, I guess she was just so pissed at Kiefer that she was like, yeah, I'm targeting him. She's also pissed that he's assuming he'll have her jury vote. Yeah, that's not great on Kiefer's part. She's saying, you definitely don't have my vote. Whoa. All right. So then throughout the night, Tina is still trying to mend these fences, these bridges between Kiefer and Tara. So Tina's pushing to Kiefer. The trio is going to kick you to the curb. Don't completely turn your back on the other option, which means working with Tara and Brayden. So Kiefer's, again, saying there's more going on than meets the eye. It goes a lot deeper than you think. So later, it gets interesting because Kiefer says to Tina, I'm going to give Brayden a code word when I talk to him later. And if Brayden says that code word to Tara, then that means the three of us will work together to take out the trio. What is this code word nonsense? Just freaking talk about it. So Tina relays this information to Tara, and Tara and Kiefer hug it out by the end of the night. They're studying together. I think Tara is still like, I don't know that I can trust Kiefer, but she's going along with it at least for now. So Kiefer did end up chatting with Brayden last night before bed, and they were talking about taking out the trio. And again, I don't know what Kiefer would do if he won HOH again. I'm not going to get my hopes up that he's going to make some big move. I think it would be sick if he did, and he would be, yeah, one of the most exciting, best players, definitely, if he then turned on the trio after convincing them to keep him. But I don't know that we can believe that at this point. But I do think he is at least trying to set it up so that Tara and Brayden would both take a shot at the trio if they were to win HOH. So today, it gets even more interesting because Kiefer and Ty were chatting in the kitchen, and Kiefer's like, I think Beth wants someone to take a shot at Ty and Jed. Like, maybe she would even throw the HOH competition because she wants somebody else to do her dirty work. So Ty and Kiefer talk about sticking together, and Kiefer says the showmance is probably going to try and cut me next, and then they're going to go for you after that. And Ty agrees. I don't know that Ty actually believes this, but he's at least playing along with it. And Kiefer says, I'm down to make another move for us if I win. Who's us? Is he talking about the trio, or is he talking about just him and Ty? Because in this moment, it seemed like he was just talking about him and Ty. And without saying names, Ty is like, yeah, it'll be good for our games if Beth goes next. And he doesn't think that Jed would be mad about it. He thinks that Jed would get over it. What's going on here? I don't see Ty going after Jed and Beth if he wins HOH. But again, I think he could be saying, like, if other people do it, he'd be cool with it. I don't know. But Kiefer checks in with Tara and Tina, and he says, all right, we've got Ty. It's going to be 4 versus 1 in the HOH competition. Basically everybody against Beth. And then, of course, Jed can't play in this HOH. So he says, yeah, Ty is on board to take out Beth, or to at least throw it to somebody else to take her out. I'm very skeptical about all this. But Kiefer is now claiming if he wins HOH, he will make the big move against Jed and Beth. He's saying he feels good because he feels like he's got Ty now. Is this for real or nah? Tina says, yeah, I hope you are going to flip this house upside down. And this is information that Tina could turn around and bring to the trio to try and flip the vote back to her staying. But is she going to do that? No, she's not. She's like, I guess I'm going, whatever. Tina! Okay, so anyway, Kiefer says he just had to make everyone feel comfortable so that they wouldn't flip on him with the vote. But he says things are in motion at this point. So, I have a question. If that really was his plan, then why was he telling the cameras before that he would be sticking with the trio and, like, Sunsetters for life? Unless he changed his mind. I don't know, but what would cause him to change his mind? I have to say, it seemed like he really enjoyed his game chats with Brayden the last few nights, and he even said to Tina and Tara, like, yeah, Brayden's a lot smarter and knows a lot more about this game than I thought before, and I really feel like I could work with him. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe he didn't realize how much support would be there to take out the trio. I don't know. But now all of a sudden he's saying Jed or Beth will be going to the jury next. And he's not like, I'm going to be the best by beating the best. He's like, yeah, I feel like I could beat Ty, so I'm going to keep him around. Like, what is going on here? So anyway, in other news, Beth was attempting to do some jury management with Tina. Oh my God. Beth is not good at jury management. She was really not. So Tina tells Beth to be careful. She says nobody wants to make the dirty move. Meaning like taking out the guys for her. So Beth is like, why are you saying be careful? Like, what's going on here? She's getting annoyed that Tina is not giving her specifics. And Beth says, well, I hope you go to the jury and tell them everything. Are you effing kidding me? She's asking Tina to, like, vouch for her with the jury right now. So Tina's like, oh, yeah, they'll learn a lot. She says she still thinks this is the wrong move for Beth this week, keeping Kiefer. She says Kiefer is not taking you to the end. And Tina pretty much says that if Beth does go to the final two, she's probably not going to beat Jed or Kiefer. And Beth is like, well, I hope you can speak of what I've done in this game to the jury. Oh my God. That's like so insulting to say to somebody on their way out. But Tina's like, yeah, I will, but there's going to be people who won't be convinced that you played a better game. So she's telling her, like, you better have everything ready to lay out to sell it if you make it to that final two. And Beth is like, I wish you had more faith in me. I'm a woman who has fought really hard for those boys and for myself. I really hope you can see that. I've done more than they have. And Tina's like, yeah, okay, but, like, you need to be ready to sell that. Again, I feel like the guys could be like, yeah, we got Beth to do all this stuff for us. So Beth is fuming after this conversation with Tina. She's talking to the cameras about how she's done so much more than the guys in this game and how embarrassing it is that she's in a game with people who still believe that she can't win because she chose to work with two strong guys. She's like, why do people think that Ty and Jed are running the house? Just because they're men? No, I think it's because they have way better social games than you. But she says, I will bring those two boys to the end and beat them just because of this, and I'll show everyone. So then Tara comes in, and Beth is already like, and Tara's like, a lot of people are coming for you right now. A lot of people are telling me to try and get you. And Beth is like, well, people are telling me to target you as well. So they agree that they're being fed some crap. It's a boys' club. And then Beth starts complaining about the Tina conversation. And then Beth also goes and complains about to Ty about the Tina conversation. So eventually, Beth talks to Tina and Tara in the Destiny bedroom. And Beth is like, I'm upset because a woman told me, she's in the room, she says, a woman told me that I would not win strictly because I'm a girl. And Tina's like, I did not say that. And for real, she did not say that. Beth's jury management is atrocious. We know this. But Tara's like, that's not what Tina was saying. We don't think you're going to get to that final two. Nobody's going to bring you there. And I think Jed would. But Tina explains, like, if you do go to the end, say with Jed, the perception right now is that Jed was making all the decisions. And I have to say, didn't Beth just yesterday tell Tina, like, oh, I'm sorry about the vote, like, Jed and Ty made this decision without me, and they essentially, like, took my vote away this week? Wasn't that the excuse that she was using? So she is playing into this perception that Ty and Jed are making the decisions, and then she's complaining about it. So you can't have it both ways. You can't use them as an excuse and a shield and then expect everyone to think that you're calling all the shots here. So Tara says if she wins HOH, she's going to talk things over with Beth because she doesn't want to be the only girl left. I think at this point, Tara's planning to put up Ty and Jed. And then if the veto were used, I'm not exactly sure what she would do. I don't know if she would go for Kiefer or what. But anyway, as of right now, there was all that craziness, like, before the feeds went down. But as of right now, Tina is still going tonight. You never know what could happen. You never know what could happen, but it seems like Tina is still going to be the one going. But things could get really interesting after that if Tara, Brayden, or Kiefer win HOH. I'm so curious how that would all go down. So let me know in the comments who you guys are rooting for this next HOH competition. And until tomorrow, much love.